Hey guys, welcome back. It has been a minute. I've been busy trying to catch up and get things situated after summer, you know, with the kids going to school and everything. My house was a mess. Trying to start a new business venture, and I've just been busy. But baseball season is coming up, and I've got a load of knickers that I need to wash. And I thought maybe it would be nice to share how I clean my knickers. I mean, I know there have to be some new baseball moms or baseball dads that have dirty knickers that are thinking, how the heck do I get these doggone things clean? Because I've been through it, so I know you're questioning it. So I thought maybe I would show you what I do to get these knickers clean. I've been holding these things since July, which was the last game that my youngest played ball. But with 3 boys playing baseball, I was tired of playing knickers. I mean, not playing knickers, I'm sorry. I was tired of cleaning knickers, and I just couldn't do it anymore. And so I just let them sit. But our first game is tomorrow. So the knickers are calling, and I just wanted to show you guys how to do them. And if, I don't know, maybe you have a better way, you can share that with me. But this is how I do them. And let me show you how many I have, though, because when you have 3 boys playing ball, and Jalen played 2 teams, so it's basically like 4 boys playing ball, you have a pile of knickers. And so that's what I have to do today. So you guys get to watch. Okay, so I had to switch over to my phone because I could not figure out my camera and how to switch that camera around. But anyways, so here's my load of dirty knickers that I need to wash. I've got white ones, blue ones, gray ones. So I will show you how I wash these things. Remove that. Here's my dirty little sink here. But my secret ingredient that I use to wash is this felt naphtha. I get this from Walmart, and I get this, a lot of this. So, you know, in my cabinet I have this on stock. But yeah, it's at Walmart. It's about $1 and some change. I get this, and then if I need to, I use some peroxide, and I don't have that bottle handy, but I'll use some peroxide on the grass stains. That, and then this brush right here. I know it's nasty, very nasty. It's cleaned a lot of knickers, and I know my sink is nasty, but you see, this is my sink that does washing dirty knickers, paint, cleaning. So yeah, so it just stays nasty. But anyways, first thing you want to do with this is always put on some gloves, because this thing will tear your hands up. So we're gonna put on some gloves, and then we'll start washing these knickers. I'm gonna start with my first pair, which is a white pair. And I won't have you guys look through all of them, because you know the white one is probably going to be the hardest one. But we'll start off with the white one so you can see what I do. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so here's our knickers, and your girl is doing this with a hurt back, but gotta do it anyway. So we got some grass stains right here, just little grass stains, dirt. But so the first thing that I do before I wash my knickers is, something that I learned when I first started doing this is, do not soak your knickers, especially if they're white. Because if they're white and you soak them, I found that they actually, the dirt will go into the fabric, and even if you wash it and you say, oh hey, this looks clean, the dirt's in the fabric, so the white is kind of dingy looking. So I don't ever soak my knickers. If they're dirty, I mean, they just kind of sit dirty, but I use this hose or this spray, the sink spray, and what I'll do is I'll basically spray all of the loose dirt off the knickers first. I mean, hopefully you can see this, but so I'll give the knickers a good spray. Let all that loose dirt come out first. And these right here, you know, use your fingers, kind of open it up spray it, because if you don't open it up, then you'll have dirt stains in between the spaces right there. So, yeah. You can see, like, even when you spray it with this right here, a lot of that dirt is coming off already. See, I don't know if you can see that, but I spray it with super hot water too. I don't know if you can see the steam coming off the water, but super hot water. All right. And once I've done that, then I will take my bar of soap and I'll work it in, basically. I'll move this to the side, but I'll take my soap, and then I start usually at the top right here because it's going to be the easiest. It's not going to be as dirty. And I just kind of rub the soap onto the knickers. Pay attention to the seams. And I don't know, I mean, you may not even be crazy about clean knickers, but I'm a weirdo. And I clean my kids' knickers, I clean their caps, I clean their ball bags, I clean their gloves. So it's a little weird. And if you're weird like me, that's great. If you're not, that's great too. But yeah. And I know this is not like a plug for this felt naphtha, but this soap is great for grease stains too. So if you have any, articles of clothing that you have grease stains on, a lot of times I'll just rub it in. Of course, get the fabric wet, and rub it in and let it sit 24 hours, and then the grease stain is gone. I had a friend, I'm not going to name any names, but I had a friend ask one time, she's like, how do you always get your kids' clothes so clean? And I say, oh, I use this felt naphtha. And she was like, oh, okay. So she went and bought some, and so she was using it. She was like, I don't know what you're doing. I can't get the stains out with my soap. What do you do? And so I just basically went over what I did, and she was like, oh, I didn't know you were supposed to wet the fabric. And I was like, oh wow, okay, I didn't know I had to say that. But yeah, that's why I said wet the fabric first, because I don't know, some people don't know you gotta wet the fabric before you use a bar of soap. But yeah, anyways, so once I've lathered up the knickers, and see, you can already see it. So, I mean, it's basically getting kind of clean anyways, but once I do that, I will go in and basically, let me move this in a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. I basically just squeeze the soap through the fabric like that, and you can see the soap's kind of a little brown, but that way that soap is getting all through the fabric. Like that. Let me set this back up. And then where the knees are, if you look at the knees, can't see it, but you see there's a little spot right here that needs to be scrubbed. I'll put a little bit of soap on there and use my brush. This brush right here, I love because it's just easy to hold. It's round, easy to hold, and I could just kind of scrub this in a circular motion can rinse it off and I can see what I've scrubbed. See? So the knee's clean. I have a great a grass stain right here. I don't know if I'm gonna have a problem with this grass stain, but if I do have a problem with grass stain, I'll use some hydrogen peroxide and some soap and scrub that. And a lot of times this right here is enough and it'll clean it right off. And sometimes it's you know, a deeper stain or it's a bigger stain, and then I have to set it for 24 hours. But usually if I set it for 24 hours, it's it'll be completely clean and easy to come off. So that's one knee. Here's our other knee. I always try to rinse it off a little bit so I can kind of see what I'm working with here. So that's the other knee, kind of dirty. Again, put some more soap on there and scrub away. Make sure when you have your hands in the bottom that you're kind of spreading your palm out to spread that, I don't know what you call it, what the bunching of the bottom of the knickers, I don't know. Spread that out so you can make sure that you're scrubbing all between there. And then, still a little dirty, but these knickers are super old. If I wanted to work on it more, I could. But usually when it's something like this, I will let it set overnight. You don't have to let it set overnight. I mean, sometimes if it's a stain that's really hard to get out, you can maybe let it set for like an hour or two, and that'll work. And then you can come back, scrub it, it'll come right back out. But I'll usually go in and I'll rinse the soap off a little bit so I can see like the areas that I need to do a special scrub on. And I know some people might think that I'm a little bit of a maniac here, but I don't mind my kids getting dirty in a game, but I just want them to show up clean before the game starts. So yeah, it's a weirdo thing. I'm a weirdo, a little bit, but yeah. So that knicker is clean. Squeeze the soap out and it's ready for the washer. But can you see that? So here's our knickers before they go into the washer. See? And then I guess I'll work on the other ones. Same process, but I'll work on the other ones, and then once I get done doing that and I throw it in the washer and I get my final clean, here all of my knickers are clean, I'll show you my clean knickers. But yeah. Oh, the other thing, this, you can use any brush, but this brush right here, I like it because it's stiff enough to scrub, but it's not super hard where it's gonna tear your fabric. And it actually came with one of those hand scrubbing things from Amazon. See, hold on, let me show you this. I don't ever use this, but it came with this, but I didn't like how well that cleaned, so I never used it. But this right here, I mean, this is what I really use it for, the brush. So we are back, and these are our clean knickers. One day later, I did let it sit for 24 hours, but you can see it's pretty clean. These are the gray ones. I guess the gray ones are easier to clean because, you know, they hide stains, gray. This one, light blue. I will point out that once the knees get, and this isn't actually a stain, this isn't a a grass stain. This is a turf stain. So if anybody knows how to get out turf stains, let me know. But that right there is a turf stain. But other than that, the pants are pretty clean. These white knickers here, pretty clean. But I wanted to say, if your knickers get scuffed like this, you see this, it's kind of ripped and scuffed. Once the material gets scuffed, it's definitely harder to get the stains out, see? So, but other than that, I mean, it's pretty clean. I mean, they'll be walking out on the field and you'll be able to tell they got on some white knickers. But yeah, that's how I wash my my boys' knickers. Just using that soap. Make sure you wet the fabric. Use the brush. If it's really bad, let it sit over for 24 hours, and you'll find, you know, there's different types of dirt, and some dirt is a little bit easier to clean, and some dirt it's a little bit harder. But the soap really does all the work. So there you have it. That's my knickers, and the boys are ready for game tonight. Get ready for some highlight reels. Okay, I wanted to hop back on. I forgot to mention, one of my friends said they like to use the pressure wash, and I've seen it done, and it looks like it does a pretty good job. But my only issue with that is I don't want to have to pull out the pressure wash every single time I gotta wash some pants, some knickers, and they have games every few days, and I'm not pulling out a pressure wash. But that's maybe something that you guys can also try. But anyways, you know, I try to add a little value to every single one of my videos, whether the boys are doing something fun or, you know, it's just something that I do around the house, and I want to give some tips. So if it's helpful to you and you'd like to see more of it, just hit that like and subscribe. Thanks, y'all.